Invocation to the divine will in all our actions.
I am nothing.
God is all.
Father, I love you.
Come, divine will, to think in my mind,
to circulate in my blood,
to look with my eyes,
to listen in my ears,
to speak in my voice,
to breathe in my breathing,
to beat in my heart,
to move in my motion,
to suffer in my suffering.
And may my soul, consumed
and fused with your will, be the living crucifix, emulated for the glory of the Father, to pray in me.
And then to offer this prayer to yourself as mine, to satisfy for the prayers of all.
to give to the Father the glory that all creatures should give him.
To infuse in me the faith of Mary, most holy, in order to possess you as she possessed you.
To infuse in me the hope of Mary, most holy, in order to desire you as she desired you.
to infuse in me the charity of Mary, most holy, in order to love you as she loved you.
To adore in me, and since your will multiplies acts to the infinite,
Thus, I intend to give you the satisfaction as if
All had assisted at Holy Mass.
and give to all the fruit of the sacrifice and impetrate salvation for all.
O Jesus, to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, I offer you my prayers, works, joys, and sufferings.
all that this day may bring, be they good or bad.
For the love of God,
For the conversion of sinners,
In reparation for all the sins committed against the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Amen.
Good evening. Welcome to Heart Talk. Tonight we have chosen to be controversial. We're here to proclaim publicly that we are pro-life Christians, and we are here to strengthen your desire to be more fully a pro-life Christian. To be a pro-life Christian means to become involved and to be holy. There is this reproductive health bill that's been hitting the headlines. It's been pushed by legislators, by the media, by proponents of the RH bill to be passed into law. Here is what's happening. Children are not seen anymore as blessings and fruits of marital love, but as burdens and obstacles to personal freedom. Parents are more attracted to material gain, leisure, and comfort than to the demands of raising children. We're given issues that pregnancy is a disease, that having babies is now a burden to our society. We're lured to raise no more than 2 kids through the use of contraception. The reason given is the overpopulation problem. Is there truth to this? We are bombarded with the propaganda that women should exercise their rights to make an informed choice between the use of artificial contraceptives and natural family planning methods. This battle is not just in Congress, but in the hearts and minds of people. Today, there are many threats to the sanctity of human life, especially when life is weak and defenseless, in addition to poverty, hunger, disease, violence, and war. We must deeply be concerned about all the forces that threaten the well-being of all God's children. Being pro-life begins in our heart and in our soul. It's not only a banner you carry, but the spirit that emerges deep within your being. So tonight, we invited very distinguished guests. We are blessed to have with us, and I would like you to welcome them, Dr. Bernie Villegas, a co-founder and a member of the Board of Trustees of the University of Asia and the Pacific, a very prestigious private university of the Philippines, a Harvard graduate, a distinguished economist, author, and professor, a member of the Philippine Constitution Commission of 1986, a prolific author of economic textbooks. Also, please welcome Attorney Marwil Yasos, OP, a lawyer by profession, a Mariologist, a commissioned lay preacher, a consecrated secular Dominican, a formator of the Company of St. Dominic, and associate of Defensores Fidei Foundation. Please also welcome Dr. Montes, a dedicated doctor, known counselor, and psychologist. She gives talks and seminars on sexuality and teenage relationships on the religious, medical, and psychological perspective. Also professor of the University of Asia and the Pacific. Please welcome Mrs. Tracy Cepeda Season, a social scientist, a known feisty woman who is a pro-life, pro-God, pro-family advocate, a celebrity housewife, and a mother and activist, and a member of a known active political group, COPA. And of course, last but not the least, please welcome our three-time Congressman of Marinduque, Mr. Edmond Reyes, who is also a big fighter of pro-life. And of course, my husband, Mr. Gene Balestine, associate producer of Heart to Heart Talk and the prime mover of Mary's Army to Save Souls media movement. Good evening, everyone. You know, we're so blessed tonight. We're really like a powerhouse of guests, no?
Yes.
I would always hear Dr. Villegas at the UAP, and I would always admire him and say, oh, someday I wish I could invite him, and he's here right now. And of course, Congressman Edmond Reyes, you know, I hear and I read your email all the time about being a great fighter for pro-life. And everybody knows Dr. Lucille Montes, you know, and you're going around schools and different places, right, talking about family life.
Sex education.
Sex education, yes. And of course, Marwil, our Suki. So anyway, we'll be waiting for Tracy. She might have experienced some traffic, so we'll go ahead with our discussion. And we'll just first ask Dr. Montes, you know, when does life begin? Because we're all concerned about pro-life, and this has always been the debate, no?
Yes. Well, we all know it's from fertilization. The moment that there's a union of the sperm and the egg, then new life is there. And this has become a controversy a bit later on because there were groups that wanted to define the beginning of life at the moment of implantation. And because defining it that way will justify a lot of things like IUDs. And so any pre-implantation embryo that is removed from the uterus, they will say it's not abortion if you define the beginning of life from the moment of implantation.
Well, we all agree that's the Catholic view.
Is fertilization.
Yes, exactly,
yes.
You know. So why is it the church is so much against this RH bill? Before you answer that, Dr. Villegas, I'll ask Edmund here, because it's been in Congress for how many years now, and they've been rehashing and reviving it, and all of us have been vigilant, no? So why is it that up to now it has not been passed, and also why is the church opposing it? And we'll ask Dr. Villegas to answer that later on, but let's just talk about the RH bill, the Reproductive Health Bill.
Well, the first version I saw was back in 1998 during my first term, when they tried to pass it. They were unsuccessful. It was still a new bill at the time, and it was rather easy to oppose it. And of course, they sustained I'm talking about the proponents of this bill.
Yes.
They sustained their campaign for the passage of this bill, and I think quite effectively, because they were targeting the youth segment of our population, and they were kind of trying to pit the old and the new generation. Like the new generation is thinking that, you know, artificial contraceptives are okay, it's cool,
modern,
it's modern, you know, it's okay to have sex, you know, before marriage. And so it picked up in popularity, actually, and we had a more difficult time in the succeeding Congresses trying to defeat this bill because there was gathering public support from below. So that's where we are now. We're at we're at the 5th Congress, where